Hey, 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 hey. Black excellence, black beauty, and black pride. Black power from all diasporas coincide. Progressive truth and regression eventually collide. May the beauty of the people no longer be set aside. May the black queen's grace continually mesmerize the millions who couldn't see it when looking into her eyes. And the black man's plight no longer be the disguise. Oppression, emasculation, they wanna castricize him. Take him away from the black queen, put him inside prison for slave labor, he institutionalized. Wondering on the outside, is she willing to ride? Is she willing to ride? Is she willing to fight for the love, even despite the fact that he doing time? Love that conquers all will never fade with time. If she don't choose the love that appreciates every life, his flame might get dim and he may eventually.
Welcome to the Urban Impact Show.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. According to the Cleveland Clinic for Care and Medicine, among women ages 40 to 50, African American women have a higher coincidence of breast cancer. The higher the death rate for the breast cancer is because African American women seek treatment at a stage where breast cancer is higher and less treatable. In addition, a higher percentage of African Americans and Hispanics lack a usual source of health care, such as a primary provider.
268,600 new cases of breast cancer have been are thought to be diagnosed in 2019 alone. According to the CDC, black and white women develop breast cancer at similar rates, but black women are 40% more likely to die from the disease. This is not to provoke fear, only awareness and action. I believe in prayer, I believe in healing, and I believe in treatment. We have guests on today's show that are going to help us shine some light on cancer. It can be a complex issue and scary at times. And we have Dr.Sheybani of John Stoddard Cancer Center, Miss Lavette Johnson, and also Dat Dude Biggz. So, this is a show you don't want to miss. Stick with us.
So, Shekinah, we have the doctor on.
Yes, she is on the line right now, and we're going to start with her. So, Dr. Sheybani, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. So, let's just jump into some questions really quickly. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at John Stoddard?
So I am a radiation oncologist at John Stoddard, which is located in Des Moines, Iowa, and part of the Unity Point Health System. We treat all different types of cancers with radiation therapy. I am also a member of our Breast Program Leadership Committee, which is a group of providers that meets regularly to discuss how to improve diagnosis, treatment, and quality of life for breast cancer patients in our system. I also participate in our hepatobiliary and thoracic committees, which are separate groups that are essentially trying to do the same thing, but for liver, pancreas, and lung tumors.
Okay.
So I had a quick question, and Shekinah, I know you and I, we were talking about this, during the research, but Doctor, can you tell us, what exactly is cancer?
Yeah, so cancer, just oversimplifying it, is an overgrowth of cells or a tumor that has the ability to spread or metastasize to other parts of the body. And that's really the hallmark of a cancer. Its ability to go from where it started to another organ or outside of the area that it started. Not all tumors are cancers, meaning you can have an abnormal growth in a part of the body that, even though it can grow, it will not spread to other parts. A classic example of this would be something that we see in the brain called a meningioma. It's actually a tumor of the lining of the brain. On the other spectrum, there are cancers that may not cause a lot of big tumors or growth, but have a high propensity to spread. Melanoma is a notorious example of this, where it presents when it has already spread, and sometimes we can't even find where it started from. Sometimes cancers can start out as tumors, and over time they can transform. A good example of this is with colon, breast, and cervical cancers. We can identify tumors in these organs that, if left untreated, can then go on to develop the ability to spread or become a cancer. If we can catch these tumors and treat them, then we can prevent a cancer. And that's really part of the idea behind screening.
I think you mentioned a lot of stuff, and that sounds really complex beyond like what the average layman's person would just be walking around on the street knowing. But something really key you mentioned was catching things prior, catching tumors or catching growths or whatever may be going on within the body. Can you talk to us a little bit about warning signs, or if there are some characteristics that make some people more prone to developing specifically breast cancer or prostate cancer?
Yeah, so because cancer encompasses such a variety of actual diseases, there are multiple ways in which a cancer patient can present. But classically, I think the symptoms can be something as simple as a new lump or mass, maybe a pain that doesn't go away or gets worse over time, or abnormal bleeding. So it really depends on the type of cancer and the organ from which it starts. For example, breast cancer, we classically think can present as a painless lump. But other signs and symptoms can be a little bit more subtle. So if we have unexplained weight loss, drenching night sweats, or even something as vague as fatigue. As far as specifically to things that are more prone to breast or prostate cancer, genetics does play a role in some people. There have been multiple genetic mutations that have been linked to hereditary basis for cancer, meaning that there are families who have mutations in their DNA that get passed on down to their children. And these families are at higher risk of developing cancers. A classic example for breast would be the BRCA mutation. Other examples would be something like the FAP mutations in colon cancers. There have also been links to environmental exposure. For example, radon gas in Iowa has been linked to lung cancer. Asbestos exposure has been linked to a deadly form of lung cancer. And then radiation exposure actually has been linked to multiple types of different cancers as well. And then there's lifestyle factors. So I think everyone is aware of the link between cigarette smoking and lung cancer. Alcohol has been linked to liver cancer, but it has also been attributed to an increased risk of breast cancer. And then finally, obesity has been linked to breast and endometrial cancers. Probably what's gotten a lot of attention more recently is the link between diet and certain types of cancers. And the one that's been clearly identified, I think, is a diet rich in fat and red meats has been linked to colon and prostate cancer.
Wait a minute, doctor. Are you telling me that because I'm eating red meat that there could be a chance of cancer?
So I wouldn't say just because you had a steak tonight means that you're going to go and have cancer.
Right.
The way that they make these links is population-based studies. So they take groups of people and they say, okay, who in this group had, let's say, prostate cancer? And then they look at all those patients that had prostate cancer, and then they compare them to patients who did not develop prostate cancer. Okay. And then they try to ask them a series of questions. Okay, so what's your typical diet like? What do you do every day? You know, do you smoke, or where do you live? And that's kind of where they generate these potential risks. And they find that people who have a diet over their lifetime of lots of red meat and fats have a higher rate or risk of developing prostate cancer as opposed to people who don't eat as much.
That's really informative and helpful. I think one thing that's kind of like a light at the tunnel, you know, you talk about cancer, it's kind of a heavy weighted subject. We've all known someone impacted by this, maybe even some people who have died from the disease. Can you speak to treatment options and the advancement of medical practice dealing with different types of cancers?
Sure. I think, just keeping to the two biggest, most common cancers that we see in this country, breast and prostate. I would say, starting with breast, honestly, I think the biggest change in the past year has been in the staging. So staging is how we quantify how advanced the cancer is. And with breast cancer, it was historically based on size of the tumor, extent of lymph node involvement, if it's traveled outside of the breast and lymph nodes or metastasis. And some of these things are a little bit arbitrary. Like we would say if your tumor was less than an inch, then it's an early stage or T1. But if it's just shy of 2 inches, then that would automatically put you in a more advanced breast cancer stage.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit generic in a way to say that 2 inches in one woman does not mean the same thing as 2 inches in another. And so more recently in the past year, they started incorporating the biology of the cancer into the staging, meaning that certain types of breast cancer, regardless of their size, act more aggressively and have a higher chance of spreading and ultimately leading to death, as opposed to other types of breast cancers who, even though they may be bigger, they honestly are more slower growing and they usually don't spread as quickly.
Okay.
And so I think that's been a big change in breast cancer, because it tells us that it's not just one diagnosis, it's not just one disease, it's a spectrum of disease. And so really the type of breast cancer really helps us determine or dictate the treatment.
Yeah. I'm really excited because in research of the topic, I found out that Unity Point has a program called Pink Program Days. And when we're looking into breast cancer or other kinds of cancers and how they impact the urban community, sometimes there are challenges about those that are uninsured or underinsured. And this program really excited me because it provides screening whether you're insured or underinsured and over the age of 40. Can you tell us a little bit about the Pink Program Days?
That's actually pretty cool, Shekinah. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so John Stoddard has partnered with a local organization called Bras for the Cause and another hospital, Iowa Lutheran Hospital, with our radiology group, Iowa Radiology, to offer these Pink Days. And it's free mammogram program for the uninsured or underinsured in Des Moines. Eligible women are women at the age of 40 or over and at or below the income level of 250% of the poverty line. So these patients either have no insurance or their insurance does not cover these services.
Wow. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about how
a lack of insurance.
Yes, because of those, especially with African Americans and Hispanics, because they have that lack of insurance, that they don't seek that care. And so this could help.
In some under-resourced communities,
yes,
there are people that are lacking insurance. And I think this program is really key. And I applaud your office and John Stoddard and Bras for the Cause, everybody that's involved in helping to make this happen. So ladies, if you are listening, or gentlemen, or non-identifying people, if you know someone that is over the age of 40, that is a woman that may be uninsured or underinsured and has not gone through some screening processes to just check on her breast health, feel free to contact. We have some contact information that we'll post in the comments below, but feel free to tune into their Pink Program Days. That Unity Point, John Stoddard, Bras for the Cause.
Yes.
I think, am I missing any other important folks involved in that program, Dr. Sheybani?
No, those are, pretty much the Iowa Radiology Group and John Stoddard, as well as Bras for the Cause, are the kind of the big key players in putting this together.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah, listen, this was great because I've now been inspired to change my diet because me and my good friend Will Sims, we're usually on the road a lot, and so we're usually eating a lot of Chick-fil-A, Wendy's.
Chick-fil-A is not red meat, Robert.
Well, depends on what you get. Depends on
fat.
There are salads available. Lettuce wraps.
Yeah,
but in all seriousness, cancer is very pervasive, and it's going on throughout the country, and it's really impacting urban communities in a different way. And Dr. Sheybani, we really appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us today.
And the fact that we just learned that it can be hereditary, that it can be passed down from generations,
yes, sir,
is huge. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Biggz and his mom, Miss Lavette Johnson.
And we're back. You're back with the Urban Impact Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We just heard from a doctor, Dr. Sheybani.
Dr. Sheybani, yes.
Over at the John Stoddard Unity Point.
Yes.
And we learned so much about this topic that is important. I mean, we are in the middle of breast cancer. Well, not the middle. This is the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But also, we're just super excited because this is an opportunity to educate not just ourselves, but the public about how this impacts our show and how, and not just even this show, but the community as a whole.
Right.
Right? Like, this is, man, Shekinah, like, I just learned so much just from listening to that doctor. That's crazy.
Yeah, she was really cool. Thank you. Shout out to Dr. Sheybani from John Stoddard. I believe she's in radiology. But she talked a little bit about what cancer is, how that can be caused, the different things aligning with breast cancer and prostate cancer, and detection being key. They have a program. If you all weren't with us 2 minutes ago, they have a program called the Pink Days program at John Stoddard, where you can come and get screened. If you are over the age of 40, female, underinsured, or uninsured, they are doing free screening. So we want to make sure you all know about those resources and you're taking advantage of them, so that we can go and take care of our bodies and our health. But
now we're blessed with the opportunity to have somebody in the studio with us and their family in the studio with us to talk about this. First-hand knowledge about going through something like this. Shekinah, can you tell us who's in the studio with us?
Yes, the beautiful Miss Lavette Johnson.
The beautiful.
Yes, and she is a survivor. That's our girl. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to her.
Hey.
And, of course, we all know the young man sitting next to her, Biggz. Yes, and of course he is her son, and Miss Lavette is a survivor of cancer, and he was a great support. Biggz was a great supporter to her. So we thought it'd be very important to bring two guests into the studio to talk to them about what that journey is like, how to be best supportive, just some challenges that they may have faced and how they can get over them, and how we as a community can be supportive and prepared in the future. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
I'm so glad that you all are here. And so the first question I want to kind of kick us off with is, can you just tell us a little bit about you and then what made you decide to go to the doctor?
Well, first I didn't really go to the doctor. I knew something was kind of wrong with me, but I kind of ignored the problem. And what was it, Biggz? About 9 months? Because me and Biggz was in the gym and we were working out. And I kind of felt a lump in my stomach, and I'm like, I just was like, it'll go away. So I kind of ignored the problem. But then 9 months later, I felt another lump on my breast. But the key thing about me was I was aware of my body. I was aware of the changes that my body was going through. So when I felt the lump in my breast, I kind of knew, okay, this is serious. So that is what actually made me go to the doctor, but I did ignore the problem at first.
Yeah. Miss Lavette, you mentioned that you and Biggz were in the gym, so would you consider yourself a healthy person prior to your diagnosis?
Oh yes, I was healthy. I could go around 5 miles and probably, take first place. That's how I consider myself as being healthy.
You was eating whatever you wanted, though.
Yeah, I was eating whatever I wanted. It's
about
a donut.
It's about 100 meters for me. One-on-one, I'm done. I can't do miles.
Oh yeah.
It's about 100 meters.
It's all about health, though. You know.
Health is wealth. You better tell
health is wealth. Yeah.
You got kids. You got, you know what I'm saying. You got to be there for them.
Yeah.
I'm saying, Rob, I'm talking to you, bro. Don't be preaching to your show, man, and you ain't taking care of yourself, man.
Mic check 1 2.
Come on, man. I came over on here just for that, man. Come on.
Somebody cut his mic off.
You mentioned something about you felt something prior, but you just thought, oh, it'll go away. What was the main cause in that hesitation? Were you concerned that it could be something and you just didn't want to know? Or were you like, oh, literally, it will go away, it's just randomness of life?
I was concerned that it could be something and I didn't want to know.
Yeah.
Seriously. That's the true answer. I was concerned that I knew it was something major, but I kind of just ignored it.
You know, I find that human nature, that what happens is if it's something that we just really don't want to know, then we avoid the topic, right?
Yes, we do.
Like going to get tested, right? Nobody wants that test to come back negative, right? So it's like, well, I'm just not going to do it because if it comes back negative, I felt better not knowing, right? But now that reality has struck, and now I have to deal with it, it's different. So can you talk to us a little bit about getting those results and when reality really kind of sat in for you?
Well, the reality set in when, like I said, when I first felt the lump in my stomach, I ignored it. But then when I felt the lump in my breast, that's when I went to the doctor. The reality set in when I was on the table getting my biopsy. And I knew then that something was not good. And it's really weird because like I tell my family, I became weak and strong all at the same time. Weak because I was weak because of the pain that I was about to cause my family. Strong because I knew that I had to be strong to help deal with the family, that the pain that I'm about to cause. So it's really weird, but reality struck in when I was on that biopsy table.
And was there a history of breast cancer in your family that you knew of?
On my dad's side, after I found out I had breast cancer, I started doing my own history and found out that my dad's side, he lost 2 sisters to breast cancer. So it was heredity for me.
Well, we are super proud of you for making it through that and continuing to fight. And even you, Biggz, alongside your mom.
Yes.
I heard that you were the one that pushed her to go to the doctor.
You know it.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, I told her 9 months ago to go to the doctor, when we felt the first lump. So when she felt the second one, I promise you, I just came from my house to her house, from showering, hitting the gym. And we were just meeting up on some business, and she was just in front of me, just touching herself, and she was like, oh, I feel something. I'm like, Mom, go to the doctor, please just go to the doctor. And first thing, after we didn't go that day, we went that morning, So it's like we had to go. Yeah, for sure. And I think, I don't know if you all seen the PSA we put out for breast cancer awareness. And the only reason I did that is because I get so mad at just people who, like, what you don't know may not hurt you, but what you don't know can kill you.
Very true.
And I get so mad, like, what can I do to get the next mom or sister or daughter to go get, go get checked.
Right.
So, because, what they're not saying is it really hits hard in the African American community. From not having the money, or don't think you got the money, or think it's expensive, or don't want to go get that bill. I'm just like, so what can I do? You know what I'm saying? So when I'm like, got with my cameraman, I'm like, I want to start yelling at people like, man, like, it's dangerous, man.
Right.
You're not going to get checked.
Definitely.
That's so interesting. And we know, Miss Johnson, you got to head out, but before you do, we're gonna keep you, Biggz. But before you head out, Miss Johnson, what advice would you give someone right now who may even think, or who may not want to know, or who should just be checking? Like, what advice would you give them?
Just go to the doctor, get checked. It's better to know. It's better safe than sorry. Just go get checked, and don't be scared. Just deal with the outcome. Because I have to let people know you have family and friends that will be there for you. So don't be scared. They're like Bras for the Cause. We do a fundraiser every year for Bras for the Cause. They pay to have you have a mammogram for free.
Right.
So just get checked and don't deal with the outcome, because you're more stronger by getting checked.
Yeah.
You're more stronger. I was weaker by not getting checked.
Right.
Yeah.
So now that I got checked, and I'm more stronger. So don't think that you're weak. Don't think. I found out that people they want to deal with their own problems themselves because they don't want to hurt other family members. Bring your other family members in and tell them your situation because they're there for you. So get checked. Don't be scared. You're stronger when you get checked.
I know that's right. So you heard it from Miss Levette. There is a Bras for the Cause screening that can be done for free. There are the Pink Days programs at Unity Point. So if you are over 40 and you are underinsured or uninsured, there are resources available. Or if you are a sister friend that is fighting this, we are fighting with you, and we want you to know that you are supported, and we have support group resources for you as well. So if you want to send a message to the Urban Impact Show,
Yes.
or to Urban City Magazine, we will definitely reach back out with some resources and try to be as helpful and supportive as possible. Miss Levette, before you go,
Yes, ma'am.
Whoop,
dun,
whoop.
dun, dun, dun,
Oh.
we have a gift for
Oh,
you.
well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Oh,
we thank
you.
Miss Levette for her time, and she is a great resource and advocate of getting screened and getting checked for breast cancer, and we appreciate her time so much. We're going to take a quick break, and then
Yes.
we'll chat with Biggz about being supportive to different people that are going through recovery or that are in the midst of treatment for breast cancer.
Yeah, we'll
You
be
don't want
right
to miss
back.
this. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Urban Impact Show. We are talking about a disease that is impacting our country and more significantly the urban community. We are talking about breast cancer today, and we spoke earlier with Dr.Sheybani of the John Stoddard Cancer Center. She works in radiology there, and she shed a lot of light on what's going on and different communities and how they're impacted. She talked about the Pink Days programs. And then we talked with Miss Levette Johnson and Biggz, her son. Miss Levette is a survivor of breast cancer, and she was talking to us a little bit about her process and how she went through treatment and came back, and she's stronger than ever. And she's a huge advocate now, alongside her son, of people going to get checked and going to programs that Bras for the Cause has available to do screening. If you have insurance or if you don't, they are available to assist with that, and also being supportive to those ladies. So
Also, Shekinah, Biggz tried to check me.
he did. He checked Rock. It was great.
You know, listen,
I'm supporting, man. It's support, bro. I'm giving you awareness.
listen. You know what? We definitely need accountability, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we definitely need accountability when it comes to our health. You know, black men are least likely to go to the doctor, right?
Right.
African Americans and ourselves, we have this trust thing when it comes to going to the doctor and trusting what they're going to say, just due to, you know, whatever the reasons is, how we grew up or
Right.
how we were raised or something like that. So Biggz, can you tell us a little bit about, you know, once you saw what you did, what kind of resonated in you? What made you want to be like, all right, like whatever's going on, we have to do something to get this fixed?
I mean, it was the fact that when the doctor told me that my mom it helped when the doctor said we caught it in time. You know what I mean? And that was my thing, to where I heard, you know, the biggest thing is go get checked, 40 and up or whatnot. No, man, know your body. Go get checked whenever you feel the need. I'm trying to tell you, I mean, it's all about knowing yourself. And I mean, you got the self checks. I'm sure my mom can explain it better than me, but I mean, you gotta go get checked. So when the doctor told us we caught it in time, we can do this and do that, I mean, I'm just like, man, I need to step out and try to help people where I can, because the sooner you catch it, the better chances you got. The longer you avoid it, you know, those chances keep dropping.
Right.
Yeah, so that was just my biggest thing, is just knowing the sooner you catch it, the better your chances are.
Right.
Yeah.
And we saw a PSA that you did. We'll be showing that a little later in the show. A PSA that you and Miss Levette did. And that was super huge, because sometimes larger companies may have efforts that don't reach specific communities.
Right.
Or
Right.
sometimes you when you hear something from specific groups or specific person that you already deem an influencer or credible, you are more likely to listen.
Right.
And so I understand that you have some professional music things going on, and I think that is super cool that you use your resources and your network to talk about something that's really impacting our community.
That's exactly what I try to do. That's exactly, and when it comes to these PSAs and spreading the awareness, it has nothing to do with me. I'm just trying to help everybody out there. So if you feel you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor, because I'm trying to tell you, I'm not sending no prayers 2 years later after I told you 2 years ago, go get checked, man. That's not nobody's fault but yours, you know what I'm saying?
It's serious.
Serious.
So what kind of advice would you give to someone who's being a support to someone that may be going through chemo or radiation or have been diagnosed with cancer already, and even after that's over and they've gone through those things? I understand that there's some things that may be going on that it'll be helpful to know to be best supportive to that family member or friend.
Gotcha. When it comes to the support, I think it falls 50-50 on both ends, the person who's going through it and the family members. Just because I think one of the biggest things that got my mom through it was how strong she was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a warrior. Just because, don't get me wrong, we got the news 24 hours, nothing but tears. 24 hours, nothing but tears. You know what I'm saying? 24 hours later, mom said, we got to stop these tears. We got to do what we got to do. I prayed, and that's all we can do. And I just seen how her whole mood changed, and I don't know how, because I'm in the studio still crying. And she telling me to stop that. You know what I'm saying? So I seen how strong she had to be and what made me strong, but I knew if I kept being down, it was going to bring her down. So I think it falls 50-50. And I know there's just some people, I mean, you got some not positive people, I don't want to call them negative, but not positive people out there that go through things and take it out on their family. And that's just not how it works. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't help you or that family member. I think energy controls a lot. Energy can make you sick if you don't got the right type of energy. Like, it's a mind thing, and your mind can make you sick. So when you staying positive, staying strong about the situation, you fighting harder than that medicine. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you don't even need medicine. You know what I'm saying? It's just switching up your routine, the energy, things of what you're eating. I mean, it's just a lot of things, but I really do believe energy is a big thing. So when it comes to the support system, I think it's 50-50. I mean, my mom was a warrior, and she turned me into a warrior, and we got through it. And I think
that's right.
After the situation, the fact of when we found out that we was breast cancer free, we celebrated. 6 months checkup, every 6 months checkup we celebrate. I'm taking my mom out, we doing something, you know what I'm saying?
And then they start getting mad at you all over again. I'm like, what happened to that nice son?
That was so supportive.
Yeah, that was so
He's
supportive.
still there. He is still there. That is what's up. And you know, it's crazy. We keep repeating that about these free mammograms and these free checkups because we found, me and Rob doing this research, Black women are 41% more likely to die from this.
But also, Shekinah, because when they find out, it's at a phase where it's not treatable anymore. It's now spread to the point to where, you know, only God can step in at this point. You know, and so, man, that's...
We want to be a source of hope and of inspiration, and we know that those situations are out there, but we're saying we want to partner with you. We want to make sure that you are aware and are healthy. We're talking about those pink program days, bras for the cause. We want to make sure that you can find out before those later stages so that we can just push this forward and beat this as a community. There is support available. There is data that's available. Dr.Sheybani is available. We just want to be there and be a source of encouragement and resources for everyone that may be either partnering with somebody that's surviving this or just learned of a diagnosis themselves, are in treatment or in remission. So what would you say to people after they find out that they are cancer free, they have beat this, they've gone through medicine or whatever the treatment choice was, and they are cancer free? What is some advice to those people that you would give about just being an advocate and standing up?
Change your diet. For real, I heard what's her name, Dr. Sheybani say about diet, change your diet. I became a vegetarian because the red meat and everything. Because what I found out during all the testing that I had to go through, estrogen, everybody has cancer in their body. We all have it in our body. It's just, it all depends on what wakes it up. Estrogen woke my cancer up. So I was getting too much estrogen in my body. So change your diet. A diet has a lot to do with it. So that's why I say change your diet and work out and keep that brain healthy. Stress-free.
You know, I would say, you know, when it comes to the African American community, it is a community that is under a lot of stress.
It's
right. Economics, education,
financial.
You know, there definitely is a lot of stress. One thing we were talking about when we talk about changing diets, we were asking people how many fresh food options are available from, even if you start at East 14th and go all the way to the fairgrounds. There's a lot of people that live just in that short amount of space, that ground that covers, and there's no fresh food options available, right? So when you say change, so you became a vegetarian.
Yes, 2.5 years.
Right. And so you feel more energized, you feel more energy, but can you talk a little bit about, you know, that change, like how it made your body feel? Just making that simple change, because I myself, I may have to looking into.
Right, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, like with me not eating red meat, how I changed my diet. I mean, my skin and my heart rate, my blood pressure, it has lowered everything. So it's like, I mean, we say fresh fruit, but all you have to do is you can go to the grocery store and get some fresh spinach, you know, and I still eat a little salmon, kind of get my protein in there, but it's all about, I just feel more healthier. Like right now, I could go run 5 miles. Well, we just did. You know, we just ran 5 miles.
Oh,
you know
thank you so much.
Yeah, I could do it before, but now.
Thanks so much.
But right now, even with your digestive system, because your digestive system tells a lot about what you put in your body. People don't understand that, but by me being a vegetarian, I even understand my digestive system more. You know, because one time I ate a caramel apple on my digestive system, like, oh shoot, it reacted.
Right.
So your digestive system is really important to how you eat and what you eat.
You know, and you were sitting next to me, and I was like, her skin is really nice. And when you were talking about what you put in your body is reflected on outside and even in your health, I think that's super cool that you mentioned that you're a vegetarian and that you have this energy. Ladies and gentlemen, her skin is flawless. She ain't got no Fenty highlight on that, all right? That's nature.
Nothing natural.
I know that's right.
Right, and I know how you brought up earlier how, you know, me doing my music thing and like people, you know, pay attention to what I'm doing, so it's a good thing that I was doing that. And I think like when Rob, you know, it's all fun and games right now when we talking about this working out and whatnot, but you a big pillar in the community. I only can imagine how many people you will touch, you start getting right, not saying that you're not right, you know what I'm saying, but start presenting it as and presentation, like, man, you probably touch way more people than me and my mom could, you know what I'm saying? I just want you to keep that in mind, as you know, you don't think you can do it like, whatever, like, man, you can not only save your life, but so many people around you know what I'm saying, because a lot of people is followers, you know what I mean?
You know,
we got a new coach, y'all.
You touch on a good point that the reach and the influence, right? And the fact that you're using your voice, it definitely matters, because we are all charged and we're called to serve our community in one way or another. She kind of talks about this all the time, right? She talks about it all the time, and I love her for it, because in some way or another, you're right, somebody else's life will be impacted, and honestly, I believe we're almost held accountable to that, right? We're held accountable to the fact that somebody is listening,
Right.
and they could be inspired.
No,
and this is why we're doing this show,
Right.
because
Right.
it's about impacting not just African Americans, but people of color in the communities that may not get their that the news may not just cover us, right?
Right.
It may be catered towards those with a different pigmentation, but it gives us the opportunity to educate, right? Like,
Right.
Who would have known? There's somebody right now. There's some young lady right now that's looking at you saying, "Man, I need to go and get checked."
100%.
And that, to me, that is why this show exists. Like, that is why this is the main reason why we do this, and I'm super excited. Everybody, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Oh, yes.
and we're just super excited to have these two guests in the studio with us. We're going to take a quick break, and Shekinah's going to come back with some more. We're going to talk about some more facts. Do we have a little bit more time with y'all?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you for tuning in to the Urban Impact Show.
So, Rob,
Right back.
Go to break. Go to break. Go to break.
I'm Shekinah, one of your co-hosts, and we are talking today about breast cancer and really a lot of cancers, but we're focusing specifically on breast cancer. We had data that shows that 268,600 people are thought to be diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time in 2019. And while this disease does impact black and white women similarly, black women are 41% more likely to die from this disease. We have a survivor in the studio with us, Miss Lavette Johnson.
Hey.
Emphasis on survivor.
Yes. And she is super strong. She can run 5 miles today. And her skin is super popping with no Fenty. She's just doing it big. I love her. And her son Biggz, who's been a great supporter of hers, they did a PSA about awareness. We're talking about how to get screened. Their Bras for the Cause has some mammograms.
Free mammograms. Yes.
Free mammograms, and also pink program days at Unity Point. They are doing screening for women over the age of 40 who are uninsured or underinsured. But we wanted to get into another element of the fight against breast cancer. Rob, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, Shekinah, we were just talking about the physical part of this, and I also believe that there is a mental part of this, right? Because Biggz was talking about energy and a vibe, right? And I think had Miss Johnson not had a winner's mentality, if she had accepted defeat when she got the news, then we would probably be telling a different story today. So we wanted to kind of come back to you all just to kind of talk about that the mental part of this of this process, because the physical part is one thing, but also Miss Johnson, you have to make up in your mind that I can beat this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, like I said, when I got the diagnosis after my biopsy, I became weak and strong at the same time. And I knew then that in order for me to be able to get through everything that I got to go through, I have to get my mental health right. Because mental health, I think mental health is the number one reason why we don't want to know the answer. Because it's more, we're worried about the mental versus than the physical part.
Yes.
So I just kind of got strong and rebuilt my mental health and just realized, okay, only way I'm going to be able to help others is I have to get my mental health straight first, and that way that can produce off others. You know what I'm saying?
Biggz, as the support, what was it like for you mentally?
I think it hit me bad, man. I'm a mama's boy, so mentally, just hearing the news, like first thing I'm just like, what I'm gonna do without my mom, my manager, best friend, no law. I'm just like, what am I gonna do? So it kind of hit me hard, but it's like I'm a real big spiritual person.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the things. If I don't pray that day and that day goes bad, I'm like, because I didn't pray. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so crazy when we got the news about my mom. She crying, I'm not doing no radiation, I'm not doing no chemo. I mean, we going through it. She's telling herself no. I mean, like I said, she prayed on it 24 hours later. She was a warrior, got me to get right, and we went to the doctor, and it was so crazy. It's because, like I said, I think it's all about that spirit and energy and mindset, because everything pointed to she may need to do everything, but the doctor said we're going. She came in like I'm not doing nothing. So, and I think that was just that energy, that belief she had. So after, because nowadays doctors get with the chemo doctor, radiation doctor, like they all get as a board and kind of look at it, and they was like, yo, well, we can take a chance. I mean, it needed, if it was anything bigger than my thumbnail, then we needed to do something. Yours is a little bit bigger, but we're going to take a chance of not doing this and doing that. And like, I think God really came through and felt our energy and spirit, and I believe that. So you can say we got lucky, but I'm gonna tell you it was God. You know
that's right.
And like I said, what I found out in African Americans and low income, we kind of give it to God, and we need the doctors also to help us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So believe me, I gave it to God, and I gave it to the doctors. I said, God
100%.
is God. The doctors was God's disciples.
100%.
So please believe me, I believe in my God 100%, but I also needed the doctors to help out too.
100%.
Listen, as a preacher, I'm about to say this, and I really want people to hear us. I think sometimes, people can come to us and ask for prayer, and we can pray all day. But also, we have to point you in the direction of those who have been blessed with the talent to help you with what we are praying about. God works through live individuals. There is no hand that's getting ready to come out the sky, pick you up, and do all of this stuff. God works through live individuals. You are a vessel. You are a vessel. Shekinah is a vessel. We got a studio full of folk who are vessels. And as long as these vessels are willing to be used by God, then God can operate and do what He needs to do.
Amen.
Pray about it.
Amen.
Definitely pray about it.
Amen.
But we gotta stop, Shekinah. We gotta stop trying to be like, oh, I prayed about it. Shekinah is a big component of going to see a therapist, right? Oh, I'm depressed.
Oh yeah.
So I prayed about it. Okay, glad that you prayed. We can be prayer partners,
Right.
but now let's be actionable partners, right?
Amen.
I just got checked about not working out. We gonna
The whole break was all about Rob
We're
working
gonna cut
out.
that part out of the YouTube.
They said I can come back in November, so get ready for me to come back. We're gonna see what's going on.
We're gonna cut that part out of the YouTube.
Rob has a deadline.
But it's necessary, right? I can pray all day for a job, but if I never get up and apply for one,
100%.
God can't work through somebody to get me that job,
That's
right?
That's right.
Shekinah and I, we have been trying to do a show like this for some time. We had talked about it, and finally we had this opportunity, which we are humbly and gratefully excited about, because we can educate people about stuff like this.
Yes, ma'am.
The mental part, the mental part here is so crucial. Yes, pray about it. I'm glad we brought this in here, because that's a big component. And I can't speak on other cultures. I can only tell you about Black church. And I know in Black church we quick to be like, oh, I turned it over to the Lord, and He worked it out. He did. But it was somebody in that process that He had to shift and move for us to get it done.
Right.
I had a friend stop speaking to me because she was like, oh no, man, I'm just gonna pray. But I was like, no, God needs your help too. He needs you to do the outside work. He's doing the work upstairs, but you got to do the outside work.
Right.
It's one thing I say all the time, and then I'm gonna stop rambling and let you kind of take over.
Yes.
God is working on something in the supernatural that has to manifest itself in the natural.
Right.
Amen.
The only way that it can manifest itself in the natural is if we allow ourselves to be the vessel that what He already worked out supernaturally comes through in the natural.
Amen.
100%.
He about to take us to church.
Sorry, she kind of looking at me.
No, I think that's fine. In our opening comments, I mentioned I believe in prayer, I believe in healing, and I believe in treatment. And I think that's really important. I had a family member that was diagnosed with a form of cancer, and they were very reluctant to say that's what it was, and there was a similar thing. So I think understanding that in our culture, prayer and faith and church are real, and we are down for that. And medicine and practitioners have their place to complement those things is a very important thing to talk about.
100%.
I actually remember, Big, seeing you in the John Stoddard office on the first floor.
Probably.
I do remember seeing you walk in there like, I know him. That was the most racially diverse place I've ever been. The hospital.
Yeah.
But I think that now would be a good time to run Biggs and his mom's PSA. They did. Can you tell us a little bit about this? Like, cue it up for us before it starts. We want to show the viewers what you all are doing to do outreach on that. But, like, what gave you the motivation to do that? What do you hope people walk away with from doing that if they don't take anything else away from what you had to say today?
Well, the PSA, it really came from once I got the information that we had breast cancer. I mean, we didn't know if we was gonna beat it or we gonna not. But I'm really mad at Mom. Like, why didn't you go get checked 9 months ago when I told you to go get checked? You know what I'm saying? We're literally in the car. I'm like, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to get our African American females just to go get checked? You shouldn't have to wait till you're 40. You shouldn't have to do this, do that. What do I have to do? And then I'm just sitting there like, do I gotta make my own commercial? You know what I'm saying? And then me and Mom just started, you know what I'm saying, speaking to each other. Next thing you know, we came up with this PSA, you know, just to reach out and let them know how real it is. Like, you catch it on time, I mean, you could live the rest of your life, but if you keep waiting, man, you may not.
Yeah.
I even asked the doctor, I'm like, am I gonna die? My doctor that I've been knowing for years, he kind of just looked at me. He couldn't even answer my question. And I knew part of it was my fault because I had a tumor in my stomach. I had a tumor in my stomach that was the size of a baseball. No, basketball, sorry. It was the size of a basketball. And my doctor couldn't even tell me because we had to get that checked yet. So I didn't even know if I had stomach cancer. So I went back to that 9 months of like, man, I had 9 months before this to get checked. Yeah. And that's where the PSA kind of came. Like, yeah, we could do a PSA on the story, the real actual story on my actual breast cancer, you know.
Yeah. And that was the thing. When I got with my cameraman, I sent him a script for it, and he was like, "Man, I want the real story. Don't don't try to make it sound good. Give me the real story." So I sent them back. We ran with
the real
story. In the gym working out. I'm like, oh,
it wasn't just go get checked. You know, me and my mom had a hard time. He wanted the real.
And I hope that you two understand the impact and the importance of what you did.
Yes.
We're learning about 41% of African American women die from this.
Yes.
And we're learning that can be caused by not getting checked when there is something to the matter, right? And so focusing on those Pink Day programs, focusing on those Bras for the Cause programs, you coming to talk to us on the show, and even the PSA, that reaches lots of people. And your work and your voice does not go unheard, and that's so needed in our community. We are talking about specifically how these things are impacting the urban community, and without you doing your part, that's one less person or however many people that are going to react based on that. So Rob and I really appreciate you all doing that PSA and even coming in to chat with us. We are going to go to this video real quick, and then we're going to come up with our new news segment after that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Breast cancer?
We never seen it coming.
I'm at the gym and I'm working out.
We get home, Mom's like,
I feel a knot on my stomach.
I didn't know what it was.
So he tells me,
go to the doctor.
9 months later,
she still hasn't went.
Until one day,
the same problem was still there.
I felt another knot on my left breast.
I remember my mom saying,
I need to go to the doctor.
That's when I knew it was serious.
I get the results.
She called me crying.
Not only do I have a tumor,
she was diagnosed with
breast cancer.
That's when it hit home.
We started getting calls
from family to friends.
Doctor appointments.
1
blood transfusion.
2 surgeries.
3 biopsies.
And support from everyone around.
I am a breast cancer survivor.
We asked the doctor,
how are people dying from this?
Only thing he could say was,
you caught it early.
That was a short PSA by Biggz and his mom, Miss Levette. She is a breast cancer survivor.
Yes.
And we are super proud of her and her journey, and Biggz and supporting her. And both of them together, getting together to do that PSA is so important to reach different communities that may not be paying attention to other mediums that are encouraging people to get checked.
Yeah.
So, we have Pink program days through Unity Point. They do screening for women 40 and over that are uninsured or underinsured.
Yes.
And also...
And can I give a quick fact about that?
Yeah.
So it's because what we find out is that African American women and Hispanic women are less likely to have health insurance.
God bless you, Brother Rob.
Thank you. And so because they're less likely to have health insurance, programs like this exist so that we can make sure that they're being treated when these opportunities are presenting themselves. Moments like these, they should not have to worry about trying to save their life by getting something that could that could help stop
care.
them from going down that road.
Right. And so that's for any and all persons that are uninsured or underinsured.
Yes.
Specifically, we are talking about how this is impacting the urban community, and so we want to make sure that our kinfolk, our aunties and grandmas and mamas and sisters, know how the resources are available to them. So we talked with Dr.Sheybani earlier, learned some facts about cancer, what that is, what's the difference between cancer and tumors, malignant, benign.
Yes.
Checked in with Biggz and his mom.
Diet and exercise.
They hazed up Rob real good on the commercial break.
Wait.
About working out and eating better. And
you're gonna have everybody hitting me up talking about some, if they don't start seeing me in the gym, it's gonna be a man.
We are a community of accountability. That is what this is all about.
Folks gonna be seeing me walking down Jordan Creek Mall, going to the store.
Well,
and they gonna be like, Rob, what you eating?
Get your steps in,
Rob,
Brother Rob. Make them go around the block.
I can't stay.
We have a new segment. Oh, well, we also wanted to mention, if you or someone you know is fighting through breast cancer and are looking for resources, if you are timid or afraid or cautious to go to the doctor to get checked, we encourage you to do that. If you need help, if you need assistance, if you need resources, if you need a pep talk, contact the Urban Impact Show.
Yes.
You can send us a message. You can write in the comments. We are more than willing to link you up with somebody that can be emotional support.
Yes.
Link you up with some support groups. Connect you with some doctors over at John Stoddard Cancer Center to chat with you about any of your apprehensions, or hook you up with some free screening. So this is something that we are very serious about, and we want to make sure that everyone takes advantage of those resources.
Absolutely. Great job, Shekinah.
We try. Go team.
Right. Great job.
So we have a new segment with Urban Impact Show called the Weekly News Drop. We want you to be informed about what's going on in your country, but also locally. And our girl, Tennille Thomas, is here to give you your weekly news drop.
Shout out to Tennille.
All right, you guys. Well, good afternoon. And this is your first weekly news drop. And I wanted to start off with something that we know is very emotional right now in national news. The verdict of Amber Geyer with the 10-year sentence from Botham James, the murder of Botham James, is very emotional for our country. She has created an emotional roller coaster for our country. The fact that she, as a police officer, was found guilty of murder, but then come back with a very light sentence, what most of our country would say. And then now we also have to deal with the fact that their star witness has been murdered on Friday in a drive-by. So this is a case that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. Our prayers been sent up to the family, and just respect the fact of what's going on, just to be aware and woke in the situation. On a lighter point of news, we want to kind of just switch over to some other things that are going on in our country. We actually have some very high success successes for our women athletes. This week has been phenomenal with the World Athletic Championships that we have for our women athletes. We had Simone Manuel, who is the first American woman to sweep the 50 and the 100 freestyle meter in swimming. The first American woman, but she is an African American woman, which is a great task that has been completed, so we're very happy for her. We also have Shelly Ann Fraser Price, which has been donned the fastest woman in the world with the 100-meter final world championships. She ran the 100 meters in 10.71 seconds. She beat Usain Bolt's record for that race. And so she is not only the fastest woman, but the fastest person in the world with that race.
Right.
We also have Allison Felix, who also broke Usain's record for the most world titles with 12 golds at the World Athletic Championships. And she did this 10 months postpartum.
Hello.
Right. 10 months postpartum, which is an awesome thing to do. Each week with our weekly news drop, we are also going to give you guys some information, and we want you guys to go on both our Urban Cities magazine page and Urban Impact Show page to kind of just vote on the poll. So this week, the information that I want to give to you guys is that for the first time in history, we have 3 queens for Miss USA, Miss Teen USA, and Miss America that are African American women. This has never ever happened. The reason I want to just kind of give light of this is for a couple of reasons. One, the Miss America, Miss USA systems are the largest scholarship fund for women in our country. They give around $47 million in scholarship funds for women who participate in their systems all throughout our country. So that is an awesome opportunity that a lot of young ladies are missing out on just from being participants. But what I want to pose as a question for you is this month, those ladies are donning the cover of the Essence magazine. And right now in our community, there is a designer that we've been protesting or not, looking to support because they kind of have some questionable attire in regards to our community. And these ladies are donned in that attire from head to toe on the Essence magazine. So my question to you is, do you think this is an appropriate attire to represent our queens, or should they be represented in an attire that maybe represents us better? So I'm going to put that up. I want you guys to make sure that you go to those pages and vote and tell me what you think, and I'll get back to you on that. To end our weekly news drop, I just want to congratulate Evelyn K. Davis on their grand reopening. If you guys are not aware, with Evelyn K. Davis, they offer awesome opportunities for career and job readiness. They also have information on financial literacy and just being able to get you ready for your jobs. If you are a man and you need a suit, they have those systems available to you. They have a number of trade school opportunities, being able to get you guys educated as far as computer and technology, a number of programs. They have their youth build programs for students that are going back to school and getting licensed in carpentry. But we want to congratulate them on their reopening in their larger building that they have open, which is at 1171 7th Street, which is the old Anawin building. So this is your weekly news drop. We're going to give you weekly information, both national and local. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys go and do your polls for us. And if there's something that you want to hear about, let us know that too. And thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much, Tennille.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. I really liked, Matt, the fact that old girl, what was her name?
Which girl?
Which girl?
Who just beat Hussein's record?
The one who beat Hussein's record. Well, but they both beat. Simone Manuel beat his record to be the fastest. Not Simone. Shelly Ann Fraser beat the 100 meters record, as well as Our Lady, Miss Allison Felix, beat his record of having the most titles at the World Championship.
Awesome. And then huge shout out to EKD,
yes,
Evelyn K. Davis, with their
grand reopening,
and Dr. Marvin Desir.
Dr. Marvin Desir.
Yeah, want to make sure that we always
Give him some love.
Yeah, because
Yes, he's leading the team over there, Evelyn K.
Yes.
Davis Center, and they're doing great things, really
Yes.
impacting the community with small business readiness. We talked about that on our
Yep.
second show.
Yep.
There, our guests were talking about they use their programs, and
Yes.
Marvin has really led the Evelyn K. Davis Center to do some great things. He has a nice team
Yes, he does.
behind him, and they do great work.
I love the fact that I've been a graduate of some of their programs, both their nonprofit, Master's Boot Camp, and the Small Business Readiness, and I'm also glad that I'm also an employee there too. Where you go.
Neil has all the jobs, all the jobs.
Well, hey, thank you, Mr. Neal, for the weekly news drop.
Yes.
You all are tuned in to the Urban Impact Show, and today was an educational day, but also for some of us, we know that this topic is kind of heavy. Because we realize that there may be some moments where we did not where it did not go the way that we would have hoped that it went. But the goal of this show, like Shekinah said, is that we want to inspire you to have a different story. We want to inspire you to not just sit there and look at what's going on with your body, but also, and let me not forget, to not just pray about it also, but to make sure that you get up, go to the doctor, and you seek help. Right, Shekinah?
Yes, and today's show is dedicated to the 268,600 new cases of breast cancer diagnosed in 2019 alone. To those women that are fighting those battles, to know that they are not fighting them alone. To the women that may be afraid to go and check, we are here to assist and to help and provide you resources, and we are your support system. We are a community, and we will handle that in that way. And
Yes.
we would like to fight with those ladies as well. So we really thank Miss Lavette
Yes.
for coming and chatting it up with us. Y'all got to see her skin. It is great. And her son Biggz for serving as a huge community advocate for breast cancer. See, men can stand up and be about that, even though they are less likely to develop breast cancer. And even Dr.Sheybani of the John Stoddard Cancer Center for taking her time on a Sunday to talk with us about the facts so that we can be better informed.
Yes, and shout out to our team. You know, we want to thank everybody. If you want to continue to see this show do events and do moments like these where we're helping to educate, we need you to help us sponsor this show. If you're interested, or if you know of someone or of a business that is interested in sponsoring this show, please, Shekinah, what's that email address?
I believe it's 515 Mag. Oh, is it Urban 515 Mag? Right. Urban 515 MAG at gmail.com. That's URBAN 515 MAG at gmail.com.
Yes, we need you to help us sponsor this show, even if it's just $50, $100. We definitely want to make sure that we are able to continue to bring you this and bring you these types of information. It's been a lot today, and we are super excited to be the ones, to be the vessel in order to serve our community. Thanks so much. There are a ton of information out there for us as far as Iowa radiology, Unity Point, please, John Stoddard, please do not forget. There is a lot of help out there for us to help the community, and I'm one of the hosts, Rob Johnson.
And I'm Shekinah, and we are fighting with you. This is the Urban Impact Show.